is that people don't continue to bring this up. And Mike T, I think you have made the germane point here. Something happened. What it was remains, I think, uncertain, right? There's nothing you're aware of specifically. We hear about some, the headphones, he's denying that, whatever the case may be. But when a player whose talent level dictates that at worst he's a late second-round pick winds up falling to the 5th round, particularly at the most desirable and important position, clearly there were extenuating circumstances going on, and that is what Deion is fighting against.
Yeah, agree. Lay on top of that, the best thing in our system is, and Bart alluded to this, a good young quarterback on a rookie deal. There's countless examples on how valuable it is. We'll talk about the Commanders here in a minute, but they can go out and get Larry Tunsil and Deebo Samuel, amongst others. San Francisco has to shed players because Purdy transitions to a better quarterback. So to get a player, in my opinion, who has first or second round talent like Shedeur was an absolute no-brainer. So Bart, as much as you don't like it, there's a disconnect because something between what the media saw and observed and the result of 32 teams who are trying to survive for their life and their jobs said no until the 5th round.
So tell them what they got wrong. That's what the point you made in our meeting this morning. People have a perception about Deion. What's the reality?
Well, Deion and the family. Like I said, you got Deion the entertainer, but to me, Deion Sanders was different as a teammate. He's the best teammate I ever had, right? And, he's humble, hardworking. And I think his son, I remember Shedeur's running around our locker room as a kid. This guy is a kid that's self-made. He came from a small, black college, played his butt off. Listen, at the end of the day, production breeds tolerance. And his production in college breeds the tolerance of you feeling him arrogant. At the end of the day, he's still a kid. He's not a professional. You could say that, hey, get him in our building, get him in our room, and I'll make him mature. But at the end of the day, somebody's going to get fired for this. Because if this kid becomes a star, you're going to be the kid that passed on the cheap option in the 3rd and the 4th round where we can afford to pay our veterans that have ascended and we can hold on to that talent because you don't have to address his contract like Dak Prescott was, like the Legion of Boom was built that way. You had an opportunity to build a team with a cheap rookie option and you let him go for $4 million. So he cost $4 million. He made more than that in college.
I happen to believe that the league got this completely wrong as well. But my opinion doesn't matter, and candidly, neither does yours. The league spoke, and it said whatever it said. But you just used the word opportunity.
Yes.
That's what he has. Whether you're the first pick in the draft or a 5th round pick, you go in there, and if you're the best player, they're going to notice it. So how would you describe right now, that quarterback room is interesting, with the 2 guys we were talking about it this morning in our meeting. You got the 2 guys on one side and the 2 guys on the other.
If you're to visualize this, you've got 2 veteran quarterbacks in Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett, and you got 2 rookie quarterbacks in Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders. And you also have a quarterback-friendly organization in that Kevin Stefanski is a quarterback whisperer. Tommy Rees, the offensive coordinator, is viewed as this young, aspiring offensive genius. And Billy Musgrave coached Deion in Dallas and is there as a veteran voice as well. So if anyone is walking into a situation, it's going to be Shedeur Sanders. He doesn't have a Matthew Stafford or a Jalen Hurts sitting in that quarterback room. It's wide open. It can be grasped. It can happen. Problem is, he's a 5th round pick.
Okay.
And right now, he's getting 4th reps on the depth chart. He can earn this job, guys. We've seen Russell Wilson earn it as a 3rd round pick. We've seen Tommy DeVito get on the field as a Giants undrafted quarterback. Dak Prescott as a 4th round pick. It's happened. But that said, he was a 5th round pick and he's going to have to earn it. It's not going to be given to him.
It's fine. He was going to have to earn it anyway. But here's the reality of it, right? Like, somebody has to get traded. Because do you think you can put Shedeur Sanders on the practice squad? Somebody has signed him in a heartbeat.
Right.
Do you think you can put Gabriel on there? So now you just wait for the draft pick. They'll pick him up in a heartbeat. So Kenny Pickett has to go because you have to go with a starter and 2 young guys. But then where does that leave you without a proven backup? So now you're in a mess.
There's a nuance here that's really important. One of the things I thought Cleveland did a great job of is they have Jacksonville's 1st round pick next year. I think Jacksonville is likely not going to make the playoffs. Rookie head coach who may be good one day. And if that's the case, you need to know what you have in either Dylan Gabriel or Shedeur. So if I'm Cleveland, I'm playing one of those 2 quarterbacks literally from day one, trying to develop them right away. And then next year.
Does that mean start? Like, would you start him day 1?
Yeah, like we did with Mark Sanchez. Day 1, stat 1. We never look back.
I'm wondering if Myles Garrett, what was the plan that they showed you that made you sign that contract?
How much money was in it again?
Yeah, that is true.
Tens of millions of dollars.
Greedy, if we were running the Browns, if the 4 of us were running the Browns, Our job is obviously win as many games as possible, and we need to know what we have at the quarterback position.
Right.
Next year, it's going to have at least 5 first-round quarterbacks.
So to the first end, you start one of the veterans. To your point, you keep either Flacco or Pickett, and you probably start one of them. And then when you're 1-5, we've been through their schedule. Their schedule's brutal. Then you go to one of the rookies, whichever one it is that you like better at that point. I predict it will be Shedeur. And he starts the rest of the way, and you see what you've got.
And you end up with 2 first-round high picks, and if you have the ammunition to move up and take the number 1, rated prospect up there if you need to.
I would just, Stefanski and those guys, they're coaching for they're not looking to do any favors for anyone either. They're trying to win games also. So if Flacco comes out and they win a couple games, and I wouldn't think that there's going to shove out Shedeur Sanders.
No, that's fine. Well, if you're winning, you're winning. Right. If you're winning, you're winning.
And Shedeur can win this job in training camp. And if he doesn't, it's not some grand conspiracy against Shedeur Sanders, which has been the case over the last 4 months here, that suddenly he's this victim.
He is a victim.
Win the job.
He's a victim. They cost his cheese on the taco. There's been guys that have failed drug tests, assault charges. Listen, I played with Terrell Suggs. He beat the hell out of somebody with a stop sign. How is that even possible? And we draft him in the first round.
Well, okay.
What's up, Fizzle? Oh, my God. You know what's up.
I'm talking about putting a stop to a conversation in a hurry.
And it's including the Cleveland Browns, who took a quarterback in the 3rd round before taking Shedeur Sanders, including the Pittsburgh Steelers, who just completely waited until the 6th round to take a quarterback, and of course including the Las Vegas Raiders, who have an owner in Tom Brady, who at the very least has served as a mentor and sort of person that he goes to for advice. Here's the bottom line. All that is erased now, except it's really not, because he's the 4th quarterback on the depth chart. And they just had OTAs, and there was glowing reviews from everyone in the media, and we're tracking his passes. But Shedeur Sanders still has to come in and earn every single thing. Do I think the reports about him being ill-prepared? Look, I don't have anyone on record telling me he was wearing headphones. I don't have anyone on record telling me personally that he was on a FaceTime call, which is something that you read about in the media. I don't have those stories. What I do have is that, you know what, we're good. We don't need Shedeur Sanders. We don't need all of that in our room. But all that is gone now. He's a Cleveland Brown now.
Right. I agree. Here's what's interesting to me. I was on record for months saying I thought he was either the 2nd or 3rd best quarterback, bottom of the 1st, maybe top of 2nd.